The story starts with the number 3 and the letter E, that is, it is a room called 3E, in it the students are tense and suddenly the camera turns to air, that is, it seems that there is something going at high speed from the air to the school and suddenly it falls, so camera focuses to the students' looks, they all start to get distressed. And finally the starts to show the face of their teacher who looks like a kind of octopus and is responsible for the students, he even has his hands up, and out of nowhere all the students start to grab guns and shoot at him, who starts to dodge everything as if it were very easy. The ease of dodging is so great that he starts his frequency list of students speaking their names one by one. He even jokes at every moment and asks the students to speak louder because the noise of the sound of the bullets is disturbing him to hear if the student is present or not. So after everyone finishes speaking his name, he is happy because no one was late. The students are surprised with him, because he is very fast, and even though the whole class is shooting at him, no one hit him. So the teacher already starts bringing to the students a great lesson that methods that depend on numbers don't have individual thoughts, that is, they limit everything, and this is very simple, so the students need to be more creative to defeat him, because otherwise they won't be able to kill him at his maximum speed, which is Mach 20, and then suddenly a student comes up with a question that it would be impossible for the teacher to have dodged all the balls and he could just take it all, even being hit by some. Several students reinforce this questioning, but then the teacher asks them to gather the balls, and that they can be harmless to them. Then the professor goes and shoots his own tentacle and shows that these balls work very well and affect him since they are developed by the government and they can hurt him seriously, but obviously even though they cut the tentacles momentarily afterwards they regenerate in a few seconds. He states that they can shoot him in the eyes if they wanted to, or in some other weak point, so the anime camera focuses on his face where he smiles, saying that he hopes his students will kill him before graduation. It was a very bizarre start to the anime, but back to him. We realize that number 3 is actually from class 3, which is from a high school in Japan. After the anime opens, the camera is focused on the teacher doing things on the board, and questioning which of these 4 tentacles is not similar to the others in relation to grammar. One says it's the blue one, and the teacher's face changes color, which is teaching grammar in a very interactive way. And then the young man with blue hair in his mind says that 2 things happened when he got to the 3rd grade. The first was that the moon exploded into a crescent shape. And then obviously various media outlets reported about this strange event, and that with this 70% of the moon was literally evaporated, meaning that the moon would be crescent for the rest of everyone's life. And the second bizarre thing was that it was these same people who are being taught at this time who blew up the moon, and he even says that he plans to do the same thing he did with the moon, with the earth next year, and that he is going to be a teacher for all of these students in this specific room. Meanwhile, the man from the Ministry of Defense says that first the students have to understand that this is a state secret and they should not tell anyone about it, and that they, the students, would have to kill this creature for the good of the earth. One student finds it funny and says that the guy is an alien who wants to attack them. Meanwhile, his new teacher says that he was actually created on Earth. So the Ministry of Defense man says that he can't talk about it, but he checks the teacher's speech, that is, he is telling the truth, and that in March of next year this same professor who smashed the moon will now smash the earth, and that if this news about this being becomes public it would create a total panic in the global society, since they only heard about him in the Japanese media, so the students need to secretly assassinate him before that happens. And as a demonstration he actually tries to kill him, but the professor is too fast. He even keeps trimming one eyebrow while the guy is literally trying to kill him. Now he claims that his speed is greater than Mach 20, that is, basically if he runs away the government defense would be defenseless and just wait for the destruction and chaos that this strange being would do. So the professor suggests an offer to the government, so that they don't kill him. Meanwhile, he will teach the class 3E of the high school, and the Minister of Defense has no idea why he wants this. But they agree as long as the teacher guarantees that he won't hurt any kind of student, and so the government accepts, and with that he together with the government will be able to monitor the teacher every day, and that also these 30 students will have the chance to kill him very closely, while the blue-haired character questions why this bizarre creature has become their teacher. He remembers the reward that whoever kills the teacher will earn close to billions of yen. At that moment the Whole class was in shock, while the defense minister says that it is obviously natural to have this reward since if successful it would save the earth. He says that those green stripes on the professor's face mean that he is actually looking down on them, so the creature who calls himself the professor starts to taunt the class, saying if the government can't kill me, how could you? And that even when the government sends planes to kill him, he overcomes the speed bonus still ends up polishing them in the air. Meanwhile, the Minister of Defense finishes his explanation, asking the students to already be smart against an opening in the professor's defense to attack him. Of course they will have weapons and ammunition that don't hurt humans but will work on him. The Minister of Defense reiterates that all of this must be kept secret from their families and friends as well, because they cannot waste time since if the earth disappears they cannot go anywhere else. And then the yellow being says that they have to take advantage of the last year and they only have 1 year to kill the professor, otherwise the earth will be destroyed and it will be the end of everything.